Filipino folklore is full of exciting stories. These stories come from all over the islands. They tell us about mythical creatures and strong spirits. They also tell us about brave heroes and ancient gods. For many years, these stories were passed down by talking, from grandparents to grandchildren. These stories helped explain how the world worked. They taught important lessons and traditions. These stories are a big part of Filipino culture. The Philippines has many different areas, and each area has its own special stories. These local stories make the folklore even more interesting. You can find stories of giants living in mountains, mermaids in the deep sea, and enchanted forests full of fairies and other magical creatures. These stories show how creative Filipinos are. They also show the history and beauty of the country. One thing you see a lot in Filipino folklore is the spirit world. Filipinos believe in beings we can't see. These beings can be good, but they can also be bad if you don't respect them. People would give gifts to these spirits to keep them happy. This shows how connected Filipinos are to nature and the unseen world. Many stories teach people to be careful and respect the old ways. These stories aren't just for fun. They show us what Filipinos believe about life and death. They show us their fears and hopes. They also show how important community is. Many stories teach us to help others and be kind. Even today, these stories inspire us. We see them in books, movies, and art. They keep the old traditions alive for everyone to enjoy. The Aswang is probably the most famous creature in Filipino folklore. It's a monster that can change its shape. Everyone in the Philippines knows about it. The word aswang can mean lots of different evil beings like vampires, ghouls and witches. The idea of the aswang is very, very old. It comes from the time before the Spanish came to the Philippines. Early Spanish explorers wrote about how scared people were of the aswang. No one knows exactly where the word aswang comes from. Some people think it comes from a word that means a powerful bad being. Others think it might mean dog or shadow because aswangs can turn into animals and move like shadows at night. A long time ago, the aswang helped people explain bad things that happened. If a baby died suddenly, people might blame an aswang. If farm animals went missing, people would think it was an aswang. This helped people understand bad events. It gave them something to blame. Being scared of the aswang also helped people be good neighbors. People tried to be good, so the aswang wouldn't come for them. People were really scared of the aswang, especially at night. Villages would be very quiet after sunset. People stayed inside to be safe. Stories about the aswang were whispered, and they taught children to be careful in the dark and listen to their elders. The aswang was a real fear for many people back then. One of the scariest aswangs is the manananggal. This creature is usually a woman. During the day she looks normal, maybe like a quiet neighbor or an old woman who keeps to herself, but at night she changes in a scary way. The manananggal can split her body in half. Her lower body stays on the ground, but her upper body grows giant, bat-like wings and flies off into the night. She looks for victims, especially pregnant women. The manananggal has a long, thin tongue that she uses to suck blood or even steal babies from the womb. This makes expectant mothers and their families very afraid. If you can find the manananggal's lower body, you can stop her. If you put salt, crushed garlic or ashes on it, she can't put herself back together. If she can't rejoin her body by sunrise, she dies. This makes her nightly hunts very dangerous. People would look for her lower body if they thought she was near. Stories about the manananggal are common in some parts of the Philippines. Similar creatures exist in other countries' stories too. The manananggal represents the fear of things going wrong during childbirth and the dangers hiding in plain sight. It's a powerful symbol of betrayal, showing how something normal can hide a scary secret. The manananggal is still a popular scary story in the Philippines. The tik-tik and the wak-wak are two other famous aswangs. You hear them before you see them. The tik-tik makes a tick-tick-tick sound. This sound is louder when it's far away and quieter when it's close, which makes it hard to find. The wak-wak makes a wak-wak-wak sound when it flies. It has sharp claws and leathery wings. Sometimes it looks like a bird, and sometimes it looks like a person with bird parts. The wak-wak hunts at night, looking for people who are sleeping or alone. It makes people afraid of the dark. Hearing a tick-tick or wak-wak means bad luck is coming. They like to target sick people and unborn babies, just like the manananggal. Sometimes they help other stronger aswangs find victims. If you hear them, it means danger is close. In the countryside, where nights are dark and quiet, strange sounds are scary. Blaming these sounds on the tick-tick or whack-whack gave people an explanation and a warning. People learned to listen for these sounds and be extra careful when they heard them. The balbal is a type of aswang that eats dead bodies. It steals bodies from graves or funerals. The balbal has sharp claws and teeth to tear the flesh from the bones. After stealing a body, it leaves a banana tree trunk that looks like the dead person. This trick is discovered later, scaring the family. The balbal has a great sense of smell. It can smell a dead body from far away. It also smells really bad, like rotting flesh. People used to guard graves to protect them from the balbal. The Aswang Nagala is a wandering aswang. It travels from place to place and doesn't have a home. It can change into animals like dogs, cats, or pigs to move around without being noticed. It looks for victims or causes trouble. The Aswang Nagala is unpredictable and dangerous. People blame it for sudden sickness and disappearances. Because it can look like a normal animal, people are careful around animals they don't know, especially at night. The Aswang Nagala represents the fear of strangers and anything unknown that might be passing through. The idea of the aswang has changed over time. A long time ago, the aswang was part of a complex spirit world. It wasn't always seen as totally evil. Some aswangs were powerful and could even help people. They were part of nature, but a dangerous part. Special healers would often deal with these spirits. When the Spanish arrived, they brought Christianity and tried to make people forget the old beliefs. They said the aswang was like the devil or a witch. This helped them teach Filipinos about their religion. They made the aswang seem totally evil, which was different from how Filipinos saw it before. Later, during American times and after, science started to explain things differently. Sickness was caused by germs, not monsters. But the aswang didn't go away. It became a scary story. For some, it was still a real fear. For others, it was a story to tell children. Today, people study the aswang. They want to know where it came from and what it means. They see it as a symbol of social fears, like fears about community, health, and the unknown. This helps us understand Filipino culture and history. Many people now see the aswang as a cultural symbol, not a real monster. There are many famous stories about the aswang. These stories teach us to be careful. One story is about a traveler who stays in a remote village. A kind family welcomes him, but at night he discovers they are aswangs. He has to be clever to escape. These stories teach people to be wary of strangers and the dangers of lonely places. Another story is about a beautiful woman who is secretly an aswang. She tricks men with her beauty and then attacks them. These stories teach us not to judge by looks alone. They warn that danger can be hidden in attractive things. Stories about aswangs attacking pregnant women are very common. One story tells how a manananggal sits on the roof and uses its tongue to try and steal the baby. The family has to use garlic or stingray tails to protect themselves. These stories show how worried people were about childbirth. There are also stories about aswang hunters. These brave people fight aswangs. They know how to find them and how to defeat them. These stories give us hope. They show that even the scariest monsters can be beaten. Aswang hunters are heroes who protect people from evil. The aswang is still popular today. We see it in movies, TV shows, books, comics, and even online. Filipino horror movies often show the aswang. They use special effects to make it look really scary. Some movies tell us about the aswang's origins, and others show the hunt for the creature. TV shows also have aswangs. Sometimes the aswang is part of a group of supernatural beings. These shows introduce the aswang to new generations. Books and comics also tell aswang stories. Filipino authors write novels and short stories about them. These stories explore the deeper meaning of the aswang. Comics show amazing pictures of the creature. The internet also keeps the aswang alive. Websites and blogs talk about aswang stories. People share stories and art online. This keeps the aswang alive in the 21st century. The aswang is very important in Filipino culture. It's more than just a monster. It's a symbol that shows us Filipino history, psychology, and social life. The fear of the aswang brought communities closer together. It encouraged people to help each other. The aswang also represents Filipino fears about the unknown, sickness, and death. Different aswangs represent different fears. The manananggal is about the fears of pregnancy, and the balbal is about respecting the dead. The aswang is also a big part of Filipino identity. Its stories connect us to our ancestors. Telling aswang stories keeps our heritage alive. The aswang is a Filipino creation that is famous all over the world. Even though times are changing, the aswang is still here. It changes and adapts to new media. It continues to fascinate and scare us. The aswang shows us the power of folklore. These stories help us understand our world. They are fun, but they also have deeper meaning. The aswang will probably always be part of Filipino culture.